your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasudashiva. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Nityananda.
Nityanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamadhyadhilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalavachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Nityanandam, welcome on this auspicious day of the Aavani Tiruvizha Brahmotsavam. Yes, before the Syamalapita Sarvajnapitam, we are already live with you stylically from Kailasa, Madurai. We are seeing the darshan of Meenakshi Devi right now. Meenakshi Devi is the mother of the universe. She rules the whole universe from the Madurai temple, and along with her, Somasundareshwara is also coming. Somasundareshwara is Paramashiva himself, who came down to this very Madurai Samrajyam, and from there showed how to do the ruling of a country and created an enlightened civilization along with Meenakshi Devi. So just right now we had the darshan of Meenakshi Sundareshwara in front of Kailasa, Madurai, and they are the mother and father, the founding fathers of all of the enlightened civilization, and it laid down the foundation on which someone can create an enlightened foundation even today. Yes, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is doing the revival of such an enlightened civilization in the modern world today. And today we get to see the darshan of Kailasa Madurai, where how the model example of how the Kailasa will be and how it can really give so much of good and contribute so much to people's lives, whether it is there for their food or whether it is for their nourishment as far as their food or as far as the soul itself, giving the possibility for all of those people to come together and to have the darshan. So right now we're having the darshan of Swamiji, who's the Murti is there, Pratyaksha Murti is there in front of Kailasa Madurai, and offering him our arati. Om Hamsa Hamsaya Vidmahe Paramahamsaya Dhimahi Tanno Hamsa Prachodayat. We bow down and give gratitude to Swamiji, who has created this beautiful way for us to all have the darshan of the deities, especially during the festive times. Just a few days ago, the Somasundareshwara Pattabhishekam happened, where the ruling authority and administrative authority of the governance of the whole universe, in fact, is moved from Parashakti Devi, Paramashiva Shakti, to Paramashiva, who is Somasundareshwara. And beautifully, the past 15 days, we have been celebrating the leelas of how Paramashiva conducted the whole kingdom, how he ruled, is the story of the Thiruvilayadal, literally the divine play. That is what it's called. And the divine play of Sundareshwara coming down and showing how to even amongst living the world, showing everyone the possibility of coming back and living as Paramashiva would live, as you are Paramashiva. And that kind of an enlightened civilization was possible and was created by Somasundareshwara and Meenakshi, and that possibility is the basically the blueprint or the mind map of how Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is doing it today in Kailasa. So we can see also the Annadhanam also is going on. It's going to be starting first Mandagapadi today. Today Paramashiva came in the leela as a very beautiful leela where he came as a musician. So in one of the Pandian king's court, there was a visitor from a foreign land, and he came and he was a beautiful singer, a musician, and he had his name was Himanand, and he would sing, and it would mesmerize so many people. The king was so happy, and the way the king invited him to live among the citizens of Pandya and to establish his institution. And in this also, he had the Himanand gathered so many disciples and so many people who are interested in learning the music from him, and they would do so many bands, and they would do so much of music concerts. In the whole land. And this was a question that came to the king also. Really, a person that came from a land that is not governed by Paramashiva or created by Paramashiva, can his music really give us the highest experience? Can his music really give us the oneness with Paramashiva? And in that way, he had the same question. And yes, now we're having the darshan of Somasundareshwara himself in the beautiful leela, where he actually in this story comes and does the leela and carries the wood and sings the song holding the yarl in his hand. It's a musical instrument. So he would hold this and he would sing. So there, we're getting to that part of the story. And of course, Somasundareshwara is there before us. Let us take this moment now and bow down to him. As we just had his darshan, let us bow down to him and have a deep space of gratitude and surrender to the founding father of Kailasa, Somasundareshwara himself, who laid down so much of the just the divine way that the divine can happen in our lives and heal us. So this is the darshan of Somasundareshwara. You can bow down to him. Yes, this is the story continues. Somasundareshwara is going to come. It's about in just a few moments away. So Emanand had this ego, and the king had a doubt whether someone from a foreign land who comes from a land where there is no Somasundareshwara, there is no enlightened integration into the whole way the music and everything should be presented. Of course, when Somasundareshwara himself came, he brought out the enlightenment in every DNA possible. So even the music and the way that people connected with each other, and the way that they brought out music, the way they brought out the different arts, all of it was related to enlightenment as the goal and going back towards Paramashiva. So the doubt came in the king's mind whether it was really that this person's who came from a different land without having the DNA of Paramashiva inside him, how is he able to be the greatest and sought out musician in the land? So he asked Paramabharatan, one of the musicians of the court of the land. He was asking the royal court musician, surely he cannot be the greatest musician. Surely you must do something. I hold you to compete with him. So he put Paramabharatan and Hemanand on a day to compete and said, both of you must compete and show how. Paramabharatan said, he told Paramabharatan, you must show how the person who is brought up in this land of Somasundareshwara, that person is the person who will have the highest, giving most pleasing and the most soulful music. And in this way, he told that to start the competition. Paramabharatan, after seeing such the success of Hemanand, he saw so many disciples of Hemanand. He saw how they were so involved and creating music. So he had a little doubt. He prayed to Somasundareshwara. He said to Somasundareshwara, he prayed, he said, please do something. We need to hold on to you, and we need to show how the land that you gave, the system of music and the inspiration from which you gave, from this very land, what you gave is supposed to be what's supposed to be celebrated as the music, supposed to celebrate as giving the enchanting music. So what happens is Somasundareshwara blesses him, and he comes actually in the form of an old man who is carrying firewood on his head, and he was carrying that yard instrument. And you can see even in the depiction of how Somasundareshwara came in today's alankaram also, he would be carrying that basket with the firewood in his head, and he was carrying the yard, the instrument, the string instrument that is used for the musicians to keep the tune and play the melody during the music. So he was coming, and he had rested. He came to the house of Hemanand, and he was singing a song in his after taking the rest, and it was such a melodious song, and the whole environment and everything around, the birds and the whole environment was just elated with the sound of the music that was coming from Somasundareshwara's mouth, as he was disguised as a old man, and this mesmerized the whole area. And then finally the Hemanand also hears this, and he thinks, oh my god, someone is singing so beautifully. He comes out of his home and receives this old man who's there and asks, where are you, who are you, who is your guru, how you learned such beautiful music? And he says this thing, he says that Paramabharatan, the royal court musician, he was his guru, he was and the old man, he says that I am the underdog of him, and I learned from him, but I wanted to learn, but he was not able to give the time and able to accept the little amount of contribution that I had. So I was not able to learn fully, but I'm a fan of him, and I learned from him as I could. Then, he also said that he was not accepting my singing. So at that time, I couldn't become a disciple of Paramabharatan. That's what happened. So then the old man continues, takes the wood in his hands, and goes on his way. So in this way, he actually cut the ego of the Hemanand, which is very easy to do. I mean, if someone has an ego, it is so easy to just do one tip and have that person understand and to sacrifice this ego. So he was not ready to lose his prestige in a competition. So what he thought was, if the disciple or the person who's the underdog of Paramabharatan is so beautifully singing, and his mesmerizing song is able to capture my heart, that means that how would Paramabharatan, his guru, be? And he must be somebody great. In that way, he had a prestige. He's like, oh no, I cannot fail. I can't lose to Paramabharatan in the battle tomorrow. Down. And of course, in the dream, Somasundareshwara comes to Paramabharatan, who prayed to him, and tells Paramabharatan, I told you can see that man has left, so you will be remaining as the court. The song from you will be the song of the land, the most precious song of the land. And at that moment, he wakes up in the next day morning. Paramabharatan goes to the king and tells him this happened, and Somasundari, he also does the checkup. The king goes and checks if Hemanand actually left. He has actually left the whole place. He has left back to his foreign land, And then so the king makes a very big rule that no longer Paramabharatan should be the singer in the court, he should be the singer of Somasundareshwara. So then Paramabharatan became the court singer, not the court singer, sorry, the singer of the Somasundareshwara in the temple, and spent the rest of his life singing the glories of Somasundareshwara. And this is the beautiful story of so how Paramashiva himself came and kept the very liveliness of devotion through even music back to the center of Paramashiva, keeping him as the center, singing about him, singing about his glories, and singing about his leelas is the what is worth even singing about, and that is the way that Paramashiva kept the creativity also, and kept the juice of life. Whenever you hear beautiful music, you have this way of emotions, and we have the way of understanding the meaning of the emotion. But always it should be centered in some goal, in something that gives you a chemical uplift, but also to raise you to the space of oneness. Yes, that person, basically, Swamiji beautifully also once said, the person who salivates in their mouth when they remember their darshan of their God, or remember their devotional puja that they do, whatever it is, when it comes to remembering the sacred things in their life, when they remember the sacred things in their life, and they have like the emotions coming on and the whole chemistry changing according to those emotions, then that kind of the use of the emotions and the chemistry is going to lead you to enlightenment is worth it. And that is very rare also to find in the world, to have those who are devoted to Guru, who are devoted to Paramashiva in their life, is a rare thing. Many people you'll find devoted to all kinds of nonsensical things in the world, but the real people, the real devotees of Shiva Bhaktas, are those who are cherishing him alone in their hearts. And that is the story today, and also get to know about Annadanam. See, Annadam is the same beautiful concept that we are sharing here. When someone has their regular day-to-day food and their regular day-to-day comforts, but decide to come out of that for 1 or 2 days and go and have the darshan of Somasundareshwara, they just tell work, I'm going to go have the darshan of Somasundareshwara. It is the time he's calling me. That is more important to them. And when they put aside their day-to-day things and everything, and they decide Somasundareshwara, having his darshan, having Meenakshi's darshan is the most important thing, they forget even there may be small comforts and food and all these things. Leaving those behind, they go and sort out the darshan and experience beautiful, tremendous bliss. When they experience that bliss, literally in that moment, that small tyaga that they did led to that darshan they had, and in that moment they are showered with the enlightenment itself, showered by the darshan, and they are filled and energized by the darshan of Somasundareshwara and Meenakshi after having it in the temple. They come to Kailasa Unnata Shyamala Pita, Kailasa Madurai, and there they have the very food. Yes, and this nourish the small hunger that they may be having, that they decided to even leave behind after going and have the darshan of Somasundareshwara. Then they come and have the food in the Annadanam. They are blessed, and they are not just blessed, they are Somasundareshwara. Having the darshan of the deity is literally having a beautiful engagement. Beautiful, yes. Now we can see how the beautiful alankaram of Somasundareshwara, and he is really here showing us that keeping him as the center, keeping all of our life and love, passion, and keeping him as the center of our lives, how he makes everything so blissful for us and takes all the suffering away. And it's a beautiful way that he played this leela for the Paramabharatan. And we can have a moment now to pray to him. Okay? That he reminds us again and again to keep Paramashiva, Swamiji as the center of our lives. Around which everything orbits, everything revolves around. With this deep prayer, we will also we're talking contributing to the Annadanam. The Annadanam is a beautiful space where we were just sharing that having the opportunity to give the food to the person who has just had the darshan of Meenakshi Sundareswara is the best way to offer your karma phala. Yes, we have the wealth that we have is a gift from Paramashiva alone. The wealth that we have is not ours, in fact. The Shastras say again and again, even here in the Bhagavad Gita, Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalaheturbhu mate sankostu karmani. As a result of any action that you do, if you acquire any wealth, even those results don't belong to us. We have no right over them. They belong to Paramashiva, they belong to the cosmos. So we have to understand the best way that if we have these is to give it back to Paramashiva in the form of Annadan. When they come, when the devotees come, they are Paramashiva themselves. And this is one of even the core principles and laws of Kailasa, to treat the others as Paramashiva. What better act, what better way do you want to connect with this ultimate fruit of your life to Paramashiva in the form of Annadanam? So in that way also we invite you all to go to the scan the QR code that is presented to you and make your one-time donation to the Annadanam that is ongoing during the time of the Aavani Tiruvizha Brahmotsam, and also in a few days it's going to be starting in the magnificent Annadanam that is happening in the Kailasa Tiruvannamalai. So join us as we give you all of these opportunities again and all of these ways that you can actually do the work of. Many people are commenting and asking us how to be a part of Kailasa, how to come to Kailasa. They want to really bring this lifestyle. They are inspired by the very vision that Swamiji has, and one good news Swamiji tells about all of us who have this is excitement when it comes to thinking about the reality of what Kailasa is becoming by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Swamiji says beautifully that you are living a royal life. Your life is of a royal quality, and that is a good news for us. And the best news is also we can start doing it. We can start living this lifestyle by doing it with our karma phala. We may be anywhere in the world, but if you offer the fruits of your actions, that is the wealth that you are able to acquire, that fruit, selflessly give it, which is told in the Shastras to be done. That when someone takes the food without offering it to someone, that person is incurring karma, incurring some more weight from this action. Rather, when they do the action of giving and then consume the food, that action will not give any karma, will not weigh us down. It will be light. And even if you feel how you feel after you had seen someone eating and had the feast of the eye that saw have the food, that is why beautifully shared, everyone having the opportunity of seeing the people eat the food. There is a particular nature inside, satisfied when we see the other consume the food. When their hunger is quenched, there is something else that is even quenched inside of us. And even we believe that we go beyond that feeling of hunger our own. And in that way also that sacrifice is done. And when we do that with the karma phala in our lives, we really have a tremendous benefit on moving us away from the rut of cycle and just transcend. Beautifully Swamiji explains karma in a way that says that whatever you give, you get back as long as you're in the same consciousness. But you need consciousness. Whatever you gave and you raise your level of consciousness won't come to you because you have a level of consciousness. And when we do understand this, we're moving from Bhagavan, how the Shastras lead us to consciousness is by understanding. That is how we raise our consciousness. So let us cognize this and learn more on how to offer and do the work of the Annadana. We have so many people sharing how contribution has led to more and more real wealth in their life, more and more peace, and ultimately fulfillment in their life. So, sharing this all with all of you, please join us for the donations in the Annadanam. You can scan the QR code or even become a Patreon and help to make the donations towards the Annadanam efforts in Kailasa. So, thank you all for joining us today. We will be actually back with you in a few hours from now, where Somasundareshwara will be again coming to Kailasa Madurai and giving the darshan, where again we are waiting with him for him excitedly with the traditional Mandagapadi offerings. So beautifully, we welcome you all back. Please stay tuned. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavat Shri Nityananda Paramashiva Padukarpanamastu Om Nityanandam.